Hi everyone and welcome back. We're down in the witch's den again and it's kind of an overcast day, so I thought why not do a video earlier. So here I am. I've chosen 3 decks, and yesterday I was working on the earth element and I found those quite harmonious. And so I was wanting to work on the water element, and then I sort of did a little switch in there, and you'll see as we get going further along. So we've got 3 decks. I chose 3 stones and 3 herbs as well. Now this deck over here, the Nicoletta deck, that is quite a deck. The cards in it really do stir up emotions, and you could do a lot of inner child work with these cards. So that's where it became quite different. It seems to me, excuse me, I'm moving from inner child, very small, very early starts, and all those feelings and emotions of those people in our lives that had a hand at the first in shaping us and influencing us. And then we go on to the Wizard's Tarot, and that takes us into youth. And again, it can still be emotional because we do go through growth and all the turmoil of finding ourselves and experimenting and seeing where life takes us, trying all these things. And so that is my youth. And then this represents adulthood for me. This is the silver witchcraft. Now, if people were to take and run with this, they'd probably choose 3 different decks. And that's fabulous because each deck speaks to us in a different way. Different experiences, different visual ideas by just using the decks and playing with them. It is a visual experience as well as emotional. So looking at our lives in 3 stages is sort of my plan today. And I'm going to turn the cards over like I did yesterday and just get a feel for them, see if they work together. I don't know. And we'll look at some of the pairings and see if there's a little bit of a story developing and how that we can use these for looking back on our lives, where we came from and where we're going to. So as children, yes, we're shaped. As youths, we learn to experiment. And as older adults, we begin to refine and define our own beliefs. So for the inner child work here, the young child, I chose to use sodalite. Now, from my research, sodalite brings clarity to inner feelings. And I thought, that's great. I like that. And I did like the backs on this. This represented growth to me. So that was what I chose. And then for the center one, the youth, this is a blue aventurine. And that is good for opportunities and empowerment. And I didn't mind the abrasions here in the stone because going through life, we do get a little bit nicked up sometimes, beaten up, chewed up, who knows? And so that imperfection didn't bother me. And when I looked at the back of the cards of that one, it just represented a lot of energy to me from all different sources. And that is sort of like the child becoming the teenager and going out into the world and looking at all the possibilities and trying things out. And if any of you were like me when you were a kid, we were often gifted little magic kits. And I never outgrew the pleasure of enjoying, I guess, working with different forms of magic. And so that sort of got me started. And then over here, I chose Larvakite. I'd never worked with that before. It's good for psychic and esoteric use. So that was wonderful. And the backs of that represented wisdom for me. So then I thought, could I bring herbs? And you can see them here in my burner. So I brought 3 herbs, lavender for the child, and I brought lemon balm to reduce anxiety as we go through our youth. And I brought some sage for working with that psychic stuff, opening the third eye, clearing negativity so that we can find our way. All right, so now let's just zoom in. I'll adjust the camera and we'll see how these 3 decks work together. Okay, so I'm going to take away the satellite and we'll take away the blue aventurine and the larvakite. All right, so let's just start flipping and see how they work together. Our Queen of Wands. Now, these could be people that influenced us if I was using my intuition, because this represents the youthful deck. And the Queen of Wands is someone who's very eager for those that are willing to do the work to help you on your journey. The Child card. Well, she is certainly taking charge. I like the idea of the chessboard because there's movements to be made. But I guess if this was a child card, it was someone who maybe had a dominant type personality. She didn't play quite like all the other children. Okay, and then this one, another queen. So as an adult, if I can get this to focus, it's finding our voice, bringing balance, following some rules there, or creating the rules. Isn't that nice that we could work through child, youth, and now we are in charge? And she's a very smart woman. The Queen of Swords is very intelligent. She gathers a lot of facts, and that can represent certainly adulthood. All right, we'll go on. The Sun card, strength. So as a youth, this could be another person that gave us strength, that gave us hope, that gave us confidence. I like that. And with the horse, the ability to run with it. So as a child, it looks like there was an awful lot of inner work going on. Definitely, she's got some thoughts there, and it's a 13, which is transformative. But we can't sleep through things. As a child, we do need an awful lot of rest, but it's like these were maybe guides and guardians all around her, waiting for her to mature and wake up. Someone to help her on her journey, give her confidence. And then this one, to soar, to really take her ideas to a higher state. I'm just playing, people. You have to just find 3 decks that speak to you and spend some time with them. See where it takes us. Now, if I was looking at this one as a young girl, yes, there were things that I was questioning. And the fish always, to me, is very fortunate, very lucky, and to embrace those emotions, because the fish is a very watery element too. And that communication with our inner self, especially with her hand on her chest there, feelings. Feelings and choices. So there's the woman in the middle with temptation. And there's all that information there to be sourced. And then the Page of Swords. Again, we're getting a lot of swords here. And the book hovering there over her hand, the powerful of words and carrying it forward. Okay, let's take another set here. The Hierophant. So we did have an awful lot of influence from teachers. And it was very much a traditional path where we went to school to learn, and there were certain things we had to learn. But he looks like a very interesting professor, someone that we could go to and not feel threatened by. And it's almost like a sanctuary that he's in there that we would be welcomed into. A teacher. And this one, the faces that appear in some of the objects of this one, for instance, that cone. Very interesting. The red heart in her hair. I believe this to be the coins. So she's nurturing herself with all the things that she needs at that age. And when you're young, it's enjoyment. It's treats, receiving treats. And this one, the Ten of Swords. Okay, so there's not always happy endings. There are difficulties. So there's lessons to be learned if I put these two together here. All right, we'll do another one, and then we'll do a little reading. The Chariot. Boy, we're getting a lot of majors here, even though I shuffled. Power, travel, imagination. Well, when you're a youth, you're on the go a lot. And this one, the Ten of Coins. Family. But I like how the horse is not part of that merry-go-round. There's an escape. And the animal pointing to the past tells me that you can leave some of those times, those memories behind. You don't have to have them running around in your mind constantly. If you can go back and do the inner child work and then move forward with this one, and sometimes going back and in our mind, seeing it in a different manner, imagining it in a different manner, breaking free from childhood into this and finding your power. That's nice. And then this one, the Nine of Swords. She looks like she's trying to get out of a difficult situation. Her inner world and her outer world are two different things. A lot of feelings coming up in the cards. Okay, so now let's actually do a reading. for someone out there. And we'll put all these cards back in and we'll see where it takes us. Okay, I shuffled the cards because nobody wants to see me do that. And let's just see what we get. So this is a reading for a viewer out there, that there may be something we can look at from child to adulthood. So if we look at their childhood, the 9, get it there as the Hermit. So there might have been moments where you escaped in order to find yourself. I look at this pathway here around the stars, and maybe the feeling when you were younger that there was something important for you to develop. I like that one. And this reminds me of those all-day suckers. Like there's that feeling of maybe needing to escape a situation and retreat and find your own answers. But it looks like you seem a little bit restricted and you're going around and around and around. And there's no books with her, only a light guiding her. So she had an inner light, or he had an inner light and a desire to sense that something in the world was waiting for them to step out of this and find. Okay, then we go on to the 9 of Cups, another 9. As a youth, I would say there was a lot of joy, that your needs were met. Emotionally, you were happy, and you enjoyed that experience and all the learning. If we think of the Wizard's Tarot, but emotional joy and happiness to break free of this and get to this. And the last card, as an adult, the 10 of Chalices. Well, that tells me that you found your place. You have your community, your group, and it just got better and better. So you had a vision, you had an idea at a very young age that you wanted to bring joy maybe into the world and help others and teach others. This looks like a card to me, the 10 of Chalices, of sharing, community, blessings. And that when you reached out, there was someone else there to hold your hand. So there's someone in the community maybe who's watching this who could say, I always felt from a young age that I was destined to find myself, find joy, and bring it to other people. Really, really nice. And 9 and 9 is 18, and 10 is 28, and 28 adds up to 10. You can make a difference. You are a transformative type person, and that you've been blessed. Super. Okay, so now let's use the rose quartz and just see if we can get 3 runes to give us a little bit more information. Okay, these 2 are coming up together. And this one. All right. Now, I didn't use the proper words yesterday, but that's another one there. So we'll go boink, boink, boink. We'll make a sentence out of these. Bring them down here so you can see them better. And I'm going to pause and grab the book. Okay, so the first rune talks about wholeness. Stands for wholeness, that which our nature requires. It embodies the impulse towards self-realization, indicating the path you must follow, not from ulterior motives, but from the core of your individuality. And I can relate that back to this, saying that there was a knowing. That light shone brightly in this person from a very young age. The rune has no reversed position. There is reason for caution. No, we're not doing reversals today. Seeking after wholeness in the spiritual warrior's quest. A rune of great power, marking a time of regeneration down to the cellular level. Okay, and the next one is the M, movement. Now we had that yesterday, so we'll find that one again. But I think this person has always experienced movement. It's a movement of transit, transition, and physical shifts, signifying movement in the sense of improving or bettering a situation. Well, the Nine of Cups is certainly a good situation. And this one actually goes this way. And it is for opening. So let's just get that page. I'll come back to it. A rune for opening. Very fiery. Renewed clarity, dispelling of darkness that may have shrouded part of your life. You're free now, both to receive gifts and to know the joy of non-attached giving. And that certainly goes along with that one. Giving, sharing, teaching, helping, uplifting. And maybe this person was uplifted by their family. Well, that was interesting. It wasn't as easy as the Earth cards, for sure. Doesn't seem to have the same kind of flow, but interesting that we could tap into possibly our inner child, our youth, and how we're doing as an adult. And we could check back many times using these cards, because certain things within our childhood, and there's so many, help move us forward here. And the decisions that we make as a youth bring us to this. So I'll leave that there for today, everyone. Wish everyone blessings, and I'll catch you again.